Okay, good afternoon, penny stock billionaires. Today is our closing. Here is our closing bell chart discussion for November 8th. And yeah, we got a lot of stocks that are moving, and we're going to be speaking about three in particular. Visibility Group, ESC Entertainment, Organic Garage, and a couple of others. But I want to start off with actually Liquid Avatar, LQID, a former Next super stock that we introduced last year. It basically, more or less tripled last year. Actually, did it triple? No, I think it did a little better than that. So we announced it back, I think, let's call it, I don't know, 10, 12, 13 cents, whatever. And you can see kind of the action here. This was the day we announced it. And basically it, so let's say it went from 10 cents, 13 cents to about 50 cents, 52 cents. There was a lot of stock became free trading after financing, which was done right around this time, or right before we got involved in December. So you saw this thing really sell off starting in April. And, kind of our contract with them was up, and we haven't done anything for months. I do have some shares, so which is why I'm biased to the stock. So don't believe anything I have to say. But the charts, I did mention this a couple of weeks back. I think it was 10 days ago. I said this thing was breaking out at 13 cents or so. Check back a couple of live streams back. And here we are. Basically, the stock has doubled because they are in essentially the metaverse space, which is becoming one of the big themes, one of the hot themes with Facebook, everybody else, NVIDIA. So this is, it's an area of market interest. And I think that once investors realize that basically LQID is a metaverse stock, this thing has got some legs. Again, highly speculative. Again, we've all seen what's been going on with the company in the last 6-9 months. So it's a lot of stuff in the works. We got to see some actual things happening. But this is basically a story stock, like many micro caps. I think the move is not done yet. I think this thing could go a lot higher. It's pulling back today, so it basically more than doubled in the last 10 days since I think I first mentioned it here. It's selling off here. I think we might see a bit of a pullback, maybe to 18-cent range, somewhere here, touching the moving average, consolidation, and then it could make a move up. But I think this thing has got a really good shot to go potentially make new highs, because the metaverse theme is just getting started, and I think this is the only metaverse stock that's in this price range. So I mean, that's kind of the way you got to look at the investor psychology. I mean, it's not like NVIDIA, what's the other one? Unity Software, Facebook, the big guys. Those are all big expensive stocks, and retail investors are going to be looking for something like this. So yeah. Let's take a look at Visby. Okay, so here is the next one. We're gonna have Jay back on the live stream this week on Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So definitely join him. That's going to be on the Wall Street Reporter channel. I think he's been busy. I think he's been at different conferences, speaking at different industry events. So I think he might have some interesting things to talk about. So there's definitely going to be an interesting news update. Now, from a technical standpoint, we've basically broken out of, there was a bit of a consolidation happening here. You had this kind of downward channel, and what happened over the last 2 trading sessions is it broke out. Especially today, you have a very high conviction breakout, very strong breakout. So where is this thing going? Let's take a look at the 1-hour chart for all of you degenerate day traders. I think we're going to have a cup and handle type of thing happening here next day or so, and then it could break out. I am quite certain that we're going to see above $2 either by Friday or Monday. So within 7 days, we're going to be at probably two and a quarter there or so. And I think this thing has got a lot of legs. This stock is really not known. It's trading volume. Obviously, people know about it, but it's not really known, if you know what I mean. It's not like people. It's not like one of these hyped up stocks. Gilbert, bonjour. Okay, so now is. I hope you had a good summer driving the Jaguar that you made with all the profits from the 10-bagger stocks. I think it was Peak. I think it was from PKK or some others. Yeah, so this thing is back to the Visby. I think we're going to probably see. I think we could see $5 ultimately on the stock, or close to it. Close to it, $3 by December. I would think so. I think it's really probably mid-December, $3. So that could be very, very exciting. Now let's talk about other stocks that we have moving. We got Organic Garage breaking out big time right now, or bigly, as we say. Look at this volume at the bottom of the chart. You can see the massive volume. Okay, so for those of you who like candlestick charts, take a look at this. All green, solid green going up. We're above the moving average, broke out clean above the moving average. You have the MACD lines. Everything is looking very bullish here. So this thing is really, really in very good shape. I think one of the big issues I think that people were worried about with this stock is, the company filed a prospectus. So everybody thought, oh, they're going to do a financing. Now, this was done like at 30 cents or so, 35 cents. And they thought there was going to be a financing right then. And you had short sellers come in because, a lot of, like hedge funds, they short the stock and then they cover through the offering. So they capture like a 10%, or maybe sometimes even more. And hopefully they keep a warrant. So it's a good business model for these guys. So here's the thing. Right now, there is a short squeeze, or there is about to be one, because the company's not doing their financing. And it's pretty clear. They haven't done it yet. I don't think they're going to be doing it now. Now, I got to tell you, this is like, I think I said this on Twitter. This is like really kind of unofficial. I'm not speaking for the company. This has nothing to do. The company has their own agenda. But I could tell you this. Before we got started with OG, I spoke to Matt. I said, look, it's clear the stock is worth at least $1, like at least $50-60 million valuation, which is like a private market valuation for this business, just based on the retail stores and the brand. I think a lot of the retards out there think of this, oh, it's a grocery thing. Oh, they only have a few. No, forget about it's a massive brand, a great brand, great model. So it's something which could be scaled. So this is the type of thing that a private equity firm could buy and then take what they have and then scale it up, because it's such an incredible model. It's very similar to like McDonald's. Okay, so when Ray Kroc bought McDonald's from the McDonald brothers, they had a great business model. They had the great brand, and everything was there, but they weren't scaling it. They had a couple of locations, I think, and then he was the guy that scaled it. But the fundamentals were there. So, and he paid, by the way, he paid a lot of money for McDonald's. It was a lot of money. Like people thought he was crazy for what and why did he pay? Because they had a system. Organic Garage has a system. So that thing is worth minimum 60 million private. Minimum, that's private. So that's $1 a share plus. And I told Matt, hey, listen, I don't even want to get involved if unless you're gonna, if you plan to do any offering below like $1.20, anything like that. I mean, I'm just gonna, if you do anything below $1.20, I'm just gonna keep the money and say goodbye. So, we'll so I don't think he's gonna be doing anything below $1, because not because I say, it's because the guy's a smart guy. If you look the way he runs the business, he's a big shareholder. he's not looking to do anything dilutive, and he understands that this, the way he looks at it also is kind of from a fundamental standpoint. This is not like one of these tech deals that's all, like a lot of hot air, blue sky. This is based on a real fundamental. So why would the guy do a financing below, like at half the company's real valuation? It doesn't make sense. He's not going to do it. So I think when people start to really get it, you're going to see the stock take off, and it's going to go beyond the dollar for sure. I mean, that's the one thing that's been keeping it down. But there is again, you're seeing the news start to happen. So one of the things that we talk about, our next super stock program basically involves finding companies that have three things going on, right? They got that. They're going after multi-billion-dollar market opportunities. They're at a key inflection point in their growth trajectory. So right when things are about to start happening, and there are multiple catalysts in place to ignite that increase in value. And you're seeing that. I mean, it's really a perfect case study with Organic Garage. I mean, you're starting to see the news flow. The company, debuted, what is it, just a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, not even a month. I think it's been less than a month. And it was 33 cents or so, and it's basically doubled. I mean, so Organic Garage has already doubled. So it's basically OG is acting exactly like a perfect case study of a 10-bagger stock. All of our stocks that became 10-baggers and sustained it, pretty much this is what you kind of saw. You saw that news flow start to happen. So you're starting to see that consistent news flow. So we caught it, right? You guys caught it right at that inflection point, right when the company started coming out with the news about store expansion. It's a big deal. People kind of overlooked it, but yeah, they just put out a thing that they're going to be expanding in Toronto. And that's for starters. Forget about the Toronto. This is going to be a global brand at some point. Okay, so this has massive, massive potential. And what you're starting to see is just some early validation. They signed this deal with Savills, right? So Savills is the big commercial real estate firm that's going to be, finding the right spaces based on demographics. And before they open a store, they don't just, find an empty storefront and say, hey, they do a lot of research on the demographics of the neighborhood, like how many people are there during the daytime, what's the average income, what do they spend, what's age, families, like, so they know exactly who the prospects are in that neighborhood before they open. So when they, before they open a store, they pretty much know what that local market is going to support. It's like a science. I mean, so I don't want to say it's an exact model, but if you see these retail chains that scale up, this is what they do. So I think they're going to open probably. I think they talked about here's the thing. So Matt is not like promotional. He's a very, very conservative guy. He's not going to say like crazy things or whatever. My understanding, though, is that there's going to be at least 4 stores open probably the next 6 months. So if they open 4 stores in the next 6 months, that'll bring them up to 8. Each store makes, let's say, $8 million in revenues, right? So 8 times 8 is $64 million. You multiply that by, let's just say 3 times revenues, because you got some growth potential there. So that's what is it? That's 180, 200. And that's not even counting the plant-based foods branding business. That's the Kitchen Originals, not even the Future of Cheese, which is the butter, all that stuff, right? So Future of Cheese, by the way, could be huge. They're going to be talking more about that. But if you follow the math, we got close to 200 million valuation, which they could have by the end of the year, that run rate. So they're going to have, let's say, 8 times 8, $64 million run rate by the end of the year. The market is forward looking. The market extrapolates out. So the market is going to be expecting them to open not just the 4 stores, but maybe another 8 stores the next 6 months after that. So if you look at $200 million valuation, that's $4 a share. Okay, very easy. I mean, 200 million is nothing. How many stocks have we had on this program that went from 20 million, 30 million to a billion? I'll give you a couple of examples. Peak FinTech, PKK, Visibility, CloudMD, Nextech. I go through a list. We've had like 10 probably. So these guys are following that same trajectory. I think, yeah, so I think 200 million is very easy, and probably it's going to overshoot. So it's probably going to go to 250 million. So that's $5 a share. How long is it going to take? I think it's going to take a while. It's probably going to take 6 months minimum. It's not going to be instant. You're not going to get this thing to be a 10-bagger right away. So I'm sorry, those of you expecting this, OG to be, $5 by Christmas. It's not going to happen. Okay, but does it have a path to be $5 by next October? I think it does. It's going to take about, I would say, minimum 6 months, most likely 10 months. So probably between June and next October, you have a potential for 10x from these levels right here, basically. Or, well, it's 67 cents, so whatever. And what else? RHT, we should have them back soon. Okay. Habelis coming in live from somewhere in Germany. What is it? It's early morning. I think it's, what is it? Oh, no, it's only 10 o'clock at night or something. So, yeah. By the way, OGGF, Organic Garage, does trade in Germany. The symbol is, you guys could look it up, but yeah. So, yeah, but this thing, as you can see, the volume is exploding. You can see the Canadian volume. This is today we've seen the highest volume since like a long time, basically, since a long time. Let's take a look at the American volume. Here is the amazing thing. You can start to see the American volume really taking off. So look, the Americans are coming. So what is this? Yeah, so we got involved with the stock right here. It was the last, about 3 weeks ago. And you can see right now the OTC volume it's probably going to trade 700,000 shares just on the OTC. That's like 10. That's like 20 times what it was 5 weeks ago. I mean, you can basically see there was no volume ever. This is the whole OTC chart, historical OTC chart. So now you start to see things are happening in the US. I can guarantee you that these guys are going to get significant business interest. Forget about the investors. There's going to be deals happening in the US. So this company has the potential to get into the US. Okay. Yes, Organic Garage, very, very, very bullish. Oh yeah, AIMLF. Yeah. So okay. So what we talked about is $10 million run rate. Okay, and that means you got to watch the live stream from Friday. It's actually, there's a couple parts. The big money is actually, they're keeping that money. That's from the HealthGauge subsidiary, which probably is good for $6-7 million. This deal, that's what it looks like. This deal is going to start generating revenues. Check out, by the way, if you guys haven't seen it, check out the video from Friday. I'm surprised the stock is off today. The fundamentals are, the fundamentals for AIML are better than they have ever been. I mean, this company is right now really on that literally on the threshold of explosive revenue growth. It's for real. All right, super chat, Skippy, the YouTube celebrity. I don't think it's going to. No, I don't think there's going to be any sell-off. I really think that Visby is. you know what? I think the sell-off that we had, I mean, it wasn't, I wouldn't even call it a sell-off. I mean, I think we just had some profit taking. Like, I think there was a little bit of profit taking, and then it kind of went a little crazy. You know, it kind of avalanched, snowballed. And it wasn't even much. It was nothing. I mean, it was really minimal sell-off. I mean, we basically saw, I don't know, a 30% correction of the breakout. So, you know, let's call the breakout, let's call it, okay, let's just say 50 cents. Let's just say 50 cents was the breakout level, and it went to, let's say, $1.75, right? So that's $1.25 was the total move, right? So if you take off 30%, 33%, that's about 40 cents. So 40 cents is $1.30. Yeah. I mean, the stock touched $1.25. I mean, this is very bullish. Usually the Canadian stocks sell off like 50% of the breakout move. So I was expecting it to go to $1, and I said it on the thing, and I was dead wrong. I was 100% wrong. This thing basically bottomed out at $1.25. It could have gone to $1 very, very easily. Most microcaps, you know, sell off like 50%. Not in this case. So I think we're going to see this thing probably consolidate for a couple of days, maybe like in the $1.90 range, $1.80 range, a couple of days, maybe even a week. And from there, it's just going to go crazy. And then, you know, $2, $2.50. I don't think it's even going to go to 220. I think it's going to go to like 250 and then to like $3. I think once it gets like 325, at that point, you're going to have like probably consolidation for a few months, because, you know, it's just going to have to digest that big move. Yeah, 320. Okay. So people are saying 320, 350. That's probably what, and it could, you know, maybe it could go higher. But I think the $3 range is really very, very, I mean, that's kind of the trajectory. That's kind of the natural path. I don't see any sell-offs really, any real sell-offs happening. I mean, you might see small consolidations, things like that. But yeah, and look at the OTC, very strong. So yeah, this thing has got big traction. Okay, let's talk about Raya. So I think Raya now has bottomed out. We've seen the bottom, and it's going to take a little while for it to move here. We got to see some news flow. I was expecting a lot more news flow. To be very honest with you, there's supposed to be a lot more news flow. So hopefully it'll pick up. Yeah, they announced this acquisition just a few weeks ago, so there should be things happening. I think it's going to take a little while for this thing to kind of get its mojo going. And but I think here is kind of the bottom, kind of maybe like a double bottom, if you will, and then it's going to kind of start moving up once it gets the action. By the way, OG right now, I think look at this, we're at highs of the day. I think we could touch 70 cents. I think this week will probably close in the 80-90 cent range. By Friday, it might consolidate there and then make a move to $1. And this move, if you look at this chart, it's a very, very stable chart. It's not making any crazy parabolic moves. Although the last 3, 4, 5 days, you're seeing this kind of aggressive chart move, but it's not big. It's only like 10% moves. It's nothing. It's not making like 25, 30%. It's a very, very sustainable, very stable. And I think we're going to see a nice move into like probably 85, 90 cents here. And then $1 shortly, a few weeks to $1. And then beyond that, let's see what else is going on here. Oh yeah, ESC. ESE, again, ESC, I think could be one of our big, huge winners this year, 2021. It's a stealth bull market. It's $1.50. I think we could see $4.50 on the chart very quickly, and potentially $8 to $10 soon. Let's see the 1 hour chart. Yeah, you got a pennant forming here. It's touching the moving average. You see, it dropped a little bit, like a little trade below. It's a little bit of a fake out. This thing is ready to break out here. We got to get Conrad back on the program shortly. I know they got a bunch of acquisitions that are in the pipeline. He's been talking about 100 million plus and growing at any given time in the esports space. You know what I think? I think they got to change the name of this company. That's what I think. I think ESE needs to change the name of the company. This is, again, my opinion. What the hell does ESE mean? It doesn't mean anything. I think they got to change the name. If they change the name to something that's sexier, something with, it's an esports company. They got to their brand is Kick, is got a great, that's a great name. Kick, was it K exclamation point CK? That's a cool name. What's the other one that they have? The Digital Motorsports one. ESC, that was a horrible name. I got to talk to this guy. What do you think? Leave your comments in the video below. If you're watching this afterwards, leave your comments in the video below. Should they change their name? And I'm curious, what do you think? If ESC changed their name to a sexier name, would the stock double? I believe it would. What do you think? Could the ESC double if they change? They could just change their name to like Kick, which is the name of their esports thing, right? I don't know what's going on. This makes a lot of sense. Like Organic Garage is a phenomenal brand name. I think we got to get ESC to change that name of the company. And once they do, this thing is going to be a $5 stock. It's just a little makeover. Okay, so what else is moving on the day? Yeah, so okay, back to the ESC. I think we got a pennant forming here. You saw that 1 hour chart. We're seeing the same thing happen here on the 1 day chart. It's right at the support here. So your downside is pretty limited. I don't see this thing really going below $1.50. Listen, anything can happen. Things can go to zero, but I don't see it going down here. I think it's kind of waiting for a signal. It's waiting for a catalyst, and then it could like really break out to $2. Once this thing is $2, it's going to be like game on. This thing is just going to keep moving north towards $4.50. But first, it needs to break this $2, $2.25, and then $2.50. So you got this. This is going to be the next big milestones we got to take on here. $2, $2.25, $2.50 ESC. But again, if you look at the 1 hour chart, very bullish, or it's about to turn bullish. The MACD line is about to turn bullish. Yeah, so it's dipping below the moving average here on the 15-minute chart, but it's hanging on. So I would say this is more of like a fake out. I wouldn't, if it broke $1.50, that would be a sell signal. But we're still, I think it's building a base here to break out to the next stop on this thing. I think is going to be like $2, $2.25. Bets. I think they got something cooking, because I saw like a draft of a thing. Something is going on, so we just gotta wait. But it's not, it's gonna wake up shortly. Okay, eGames 360. That's a pretty good name. How about E360? 360 Esports. That's a good one. So Jeff, this is a good name. I think eGames 360. I know it's a little bit of a long name, but that name is about 1 million times better than ESC Entertainment, which means like absolutely nothing. I mean, I don't know what the hell it means. I think this is what's keeping the stock down. Once they change the name, this thing is going to be like $8, $10. OG, I think we're going to see new highs here. Not new highs for the year, but I think we're going to probably close 70 cents. By the way, there's no more. That's it. This thing, there's no resistance left here. There's really nothing in the way. I mean, the big resistance was in this 54 range, 52-cent range. There's really no other resistance left. So, I mean, this thing could really just run to a buck very easily. It's going to happen very organically, I believe, in the next, week, maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't think even this 80 cents this is not a significant level here. So, yeah, this thing is all systems are green. Everything is looking good. By the way, okay, so RHT, we got to get Lisa back on. I guess the market didn't like their earnings for whatever reason. It's below the moving average, which is not good. It's not good, I can tell you that. This thing looks like, I mean, the chart is not looking, I'll put it this way, it's not looking pretty. It may come down to 80 cents. It may come down to 80 cents here. And then build another base. I mean, it could do that and then build a base like in this kind of 83-cent range to make another breakout attempt. I mean, they got some phenomenal fundamentals happening. So, and we're going to know very, very shortly what the numbers are. Yeah, so ESC, anything would be good. Yeah, Visby looking very good. ESC, technically, it might be in the metaverse. Technically, it might be a metaverse stock at this point. I think the esports thing is kind of in the metaverse. Okay, so we got 8 minutes to go. And let's see what else is moving. What is a good setup for tomorrow from a technical perspective? Visby, pretty good setup. Let's take a look. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, look at this. You got big momentum happening here. It's definitely going to break out this week. I mean, this thing just wants to go higher. It's probably going to be like $1.80, $2 by Thursday. So this thing is looking bullish. ESE is actually a really good, I would say it's a very good risk reward setup, because if you look at this, your downside is probably 4 cents. I don't think this thing is going to go below $1.50 here. And the upside is when it breaks out, $4 plus. So this thing is very, very strong. And what else we got going on? Let's take a look at Logic. What is going on with Logic? This thing was breaking out. Now it's kind of what a difficult stock this has been. Okay, so it's back below the moving average here. It's so weird. You had this big move. Now it's come down. You have some support here. I don't think it's like the stock has come down like over here, but I don't. It almost feels like it doesn't really want to go down. I mean, you see this thing sell off, but it doesn't want to go down. It's like drop. It's almost like maybe there's been shorting, or I don't know what's going on. But it doesn't feel like a natural sell-off. It feels like a little bit forced. So you can see a snap back very, very fast in Logic. And this is this is a good stock for, degenerate day traders, because this is very, very volatile intraday. Not very liquid, but very volatile. So this is, we could see some action there. Let's see what else was going on. Yes, so 5 minutes to go. Organic Garage, 68 cents. Uh, fans, yeah, I don't know what's going on with fans. I have not heard from fans. I got to reach out to them because, like, what's going on here? Like, no news, very quiet. It looks like it's bottomed out. I mean, I don't. It's fans. The chart is always tricky with fans. It always does like weird things. Um, it really should have bottomed out like in the 62-cent range, but of course, it went a little bit further. Like usually, you see the stock do that, and I think this is the bottom. I don't see this going down. I really don't see this going down from any further than this. It touched 50 cents almost. Um, the sports betting space is only going to get hotter. So, yeah. Um, yeah, organic garage, 100 bagger. Again, like here's the thing. What I like about organic garage is this is definitely that stock which has that 100x potential. Um, it's not going to happen in a year, but could it be 100 bagger in 3-4 years? Yeah, it can, because 100 bag would mean $35, right? So that's let's call that a billion five valuation. So that means they would have to have 500 million revenues, right? To get to 500 million revenues, forget about the plant food business, just with stores. They would need to have about 40 stores. So actually, no, let's call it 50 stores. It's not a lot. I mean, they could do 25 stores just in the Toronto area. Like, they can go. I mean, if they're going to stay in Canada, I mean, they can expand to Vancouver, etc., British Columbia, whatever they call it, Quebec, the U.S. They can license. I mean, so there's a lot. I mean, how long would it take to get to 50 stores? They could probably do it in 3 years. I think in 3 years they can get to 50 stores, and you'd have, you'd have that 500 million revenue run rate, 500 million revenues times 3. It's nothing. So yeah, it could be 100 bagger. Some things are happening with the Visby. Something is going on here. Let's find out Wednesday. Average up, yeah, interesting. Okay. Let's take a quick look at the chart. I really feel like this thing could trade 70 cents today, maybe even 72. Oh. Okay, sorry, frozen there for a second. Okay, so a little bit of profit taking here on organic garage. It's not going to happen today. It's not going to close at 72 cents. I think we're going to close probably somewhere around here, it looks like. 68, not bad at all, though. So anything in these levels is super, super bullish. I really did think that we had a shot at 70, breaking that 70 today. It's probably going to take a little while. It might take a few days. We might see, consolidation like one of these days, and then, again, 80, 90 cents, a couple days. So yeah, so things are looking very, very bullish. Visby closing $1.69. Highs of the day, big volume. Yeah, people love this stock. I mean, this thing is just getting started. So, I mean, this thing really just wants to break out. Ultra bullish action here. On the 1 hour chart. Yes, great setup for tomorrow. I mean, this thing is looking really, really strong for tomorrow. It's amazing. Amazing. And let's see, Organic Garage. We got the what are we at? What do we close? 68-cent close. Okay. What else is looking good for tomorrow? ESE. I think we have a pretty good setup for tomorrow, actually. A little bit of a turnaround towards the end of the day. You know what I like about the stock? It doesn't have a lot of eyeballs on it. It had a lot of people watching the stock last year, and people have kind of given up on it. But now they have. It's incredible that a year later, after everybody gives up, all of a sudden they're at, right now they're at a, I don't know, 25-30 million dollar run rate. So, I mean, this thing could be trading at 300 million bucks. So I mean, it's got a lot of upside. $4 is the minimum target on this. Yeah, $1.69. Okay, and Organic Garage, 68 cents is the official close. Very nice setup for tomorrow. So yeah, things are looking really good. Okay, I will see you on the live stream on Wednesday. We're gonna have visibility group. I think Organic Garage actually might be rescheduled to Thursday. So Organic Garage, we're gonna have one of their new advisors on. That's the guy who's Yossi, the guy from Danone, who is the expert on branding in the kind of that whole dairy alternative space. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what he has to say, and really his plan to scale up the future of cheese. I mean, this guy's had some major wins in the past, taking brands, from basically zero to massive numbers. So it's going to be very exciting. So again, Wednesday visibility group, Thursday is going to be Organic Garage. I think we'll have ESE back on and RHT next couple of days also. So I will see you all on the live stream, and thank you everybody for joining today, and including this guy here. We get a special Skippy, $9.99. This pays our electric bill for today. Thank you.